Shalom everyone, and we are in Parashat VaEra. Parashat VaEra is the second parasha in the book of Shmot, Exodus, second parasha of this series of 6 weeks of Shovavim, and that means it's not an easy time of the year, but it's a very productive one. Who said it has to be easy? Okay, we're not in this planet to make it easy. Whoever wants it to be easy, this is not the place, this is not the time. So what's in it for us? Here we have, in order to understand what's happening in this parasha, of course we have to start with last week's parasha. And the last week's parasha, we hear about the Israelites coming to Egypt, becoming slaves, Pharaoh starting to make a trick, and they go through a really hard time. Years later, 210 years into the slavery, Moses is with the sheep in Mount Sinai, and he gets a message in the burning bush, go to Pharaoh, tell him, let my people go. Moses doesn't get it so much, he gets it finally, he goes, and he tells Pharaoh, let my people go. And Pharaoh's answer is, oh, you want to be free. That means you're not working hard enough. So you're going to get it harder. Till now, in order to make the bricks, you needed to get the straw, so the Egyptian government will give you the straw. Now you have to get the straw by yourself and meet the same quotas. So of course, they can't meet the quotas, and they're being beaten up, and they come to Moses. Moses, you came to save us. It became even worse. Why? Why? Okay, remember, the Torah is not a history book. The Torah is about here and now. And it's the same story. Same story. What did we say last week? These 6 weeks Shovavim is about getting out of Egypt. And Egypt means the narrow, confined space. Getting out of the box. Who doesn't have his own slavery too? Addictions, all kinds of addictions. That's our narrow place. Because in order to find your calling and to achieve it, you have to get out of the box because you're too busy maintaining your box and your slavery. And of course, thinking about freedom is not even a question because you're so busy maintaining your box. What do you mean you thinking about freedom? How do you define freedom? My teacher used to say, most people, if you take away their troubles away from them, they'll have an identity crisis. Because, you know, I love to do this workshop. I ask you all to do this workshop this week. Write down all the stuff that prevents you from the best in your life. All the stuff. Other people, lacks inside you, fears, anxieties, limitations, whatever. Okay, write down all of that. Okay? After you wrote all of that down, write down, in case, let's say, Mashiach is coming, or whatever miracle is happening, and all of that stuff is being taken away from you, what are you going to do right now with your life? I bet you have no idea. And that's why you're still in the box. Because you have no idea what you're going to do. You'll have an identity crisis. You're so busy maintaining your own Egypt that you have that Egypt will be taken away from you. You know this parable about the bird living in the cage. You open the doors and won't get out. They don't know how to exist outside. Okay? It's all about us. So, the whole thing about the Israelites in Egypt is like, and that's what people do in their own Egypt. Let's just survive. Just get by. One more day where we're not killed, that's okay. Now the problem is, and that's a big problem, the moment you want to set yourself free, you can't get freedom on a silver platter. Have you ever heard about somebody who's heavy smoker, smoking few packets a day, and then that person stops smoking, and you know what? The next morning, they wake up. The lungs are open. They can smell the air. Yeah? No. You get so sick. Somebody who's, in withdrawal with drugs, alcohol, whatever, it's not easy. It's not easy. That's why people are afraid from the withdrawal, because it's going to be painful. And therefore, so what the heck? Why do I need to be free? I don't want to be free. Just don't kill me. Just let me get. And you're asking yourself, you're looking at other people, how come they don't get away? So there's a woman married to an abusive husband, and she never tried to get out. Okay? Or a man married to an abusive wife, or what? Somebody's working in an abusive business place, and so on. The main thing is to keep you as a slave, but the problem is you cooperate with the abuser by cooperating with maintaining that slave mentality. And getting out of slavery is never, never, never for free. Like nothing good in this world, nothing is for free. So you want to redeem yourself? You have to pay for it. And to pay for that, that means that's a silver platter, the payment. You have to take it as, I'm happy to pay for my freedom. You're not happy to pay for your freedom? You're still a slave. You go away to freedom, you take your bondage with you, and you rebuild it. How many times have you run away from somewhere and found yourself in another place? Thank goodness. And then you realize you took your old self and your old boundaries with your old mess with you, and it's there, reassembled. And, we have the tendency, I thought that these guys over here are much nicer than in the previous place. No, it's not that they're much nicer or less nice. You just have the tendency to cast everyone in the same positions that you need for your own play, jail, Egypt, stuff like this. You need the Pharaoh, you need this, you need that. And now you have an excuse why not to be free. Okay? So therefore, when Moses, in the end of the previous parasha, because you can't understand otherwise, in the end of the previous parasha, we get the story about how things got so much worse. And now the Israelites are being punished for not meeting the quotas. It's becoming so much worse. And they come to him, to Moses, what happened? You promised to save us. Right? Don't you know that that's the way it is? It becomes worse before it becomes better, because there's a payment. This is the way of the world. And now they come and says, God will punish you. This is Exodus 5, verse 21. God will punish you that you made us stinking smell in the nose of the Egyptians. Like before that, the Egyptians really loved us. Correct?
Yep.
Oh, we had an amazing, our relationship with the Egyptians were like commercial only, with really like, eye to eye. Hello, your boys were thrown into the Nile, you're being enslaved. What are you talking about? Oh, now they'll hate us. Oh, they love you. Till now, they really loved you. This is a mentality of a slave. This is a victim mentality. This is called also Stockholm Syndrome, which means the people are stepping on you, bashing you. They're just disgrace. They put a disgrace on everything you really see as dire and precious, and you still adore them. Don't you see that around you? So it must be also when you're looking in the mirror. Okay? So, 4,000 years later, we still have the same tendencies because we didn't finish the job yet. We're still in the midst of that job. And now you give them an excuse to kill us. Hello, they want to kill you. That's why they build you concentration camps. That's why That's what it says over here. Moses is kind of, it's tough. Why? He comes and he says, he speaks to God, Youdkevitch, the Tetragrammaton. I'm reading right now verse 22. And he says, Adonai, Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud. There you won't see that in the translation. Unless some Jewish translations have that. What's Adonai? Saying that it's a name of God that you pronounce, but it's also the name for judgment. Take the word Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, change the order of the letters, you get Dina, judgment. It's judgment. In Aramaic, Dina. Lama re'ot ha'am hazeh. Moses said, God, why did you bring evil to these people? Lama zeh shlochtani? Why did you send me in the first place? ומאז באתי אל פרעה לדבר בשמך, since I came to Pharaoh in your name, הרע לעם הזה, it became worse. הצל לא הצלת את עמך. This is a very sensitive problem. Why? A lot of people, they have no problem going through hardship themselves. But the moment they see their kids in that hardship, they lose it. They can't stand. They will go, they freak out. Anxiety attacks, they go crazy. The moment you know that you are supposed to go through it, and you're okay with it. You'll fight, but the moment you see your kids going through the same stuff, even less stuff, you lose it. You just lose it. You become like a different person, right? A monster even. You can kill for that, okay? Some people. Okay? Here Moses is already assuming position as the father of the nation, right? He's going right now to deliver a new nation. He's already assuming position is he can't stand that they suffer. Chapter 6, verse 1. Vayomer Hashem el Moshe. Still, Moses speaks to Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud. And then it says, who speaks to him? Youdkevitch. Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud is judgment. Youdkevitch, the Tetragrammaton, this is loving kindness, right? Ata tireh asher e'aseh leFaro. You will see. You will see it's okay. Why? When somebody is losing it, you don't
bang on.
You don't just go face him with the truth. It's going to be okay. It's okay. We love you. It's okay. Don't be afraid. We'll deal with it. And after he's setting up, the next verse, that's the beginning of this parasha. Vaydaber Elohim el Moshe. And Elohim speaks to Moshe. Elohim is judgment. Moses. What does he say? Vayomer elav ani Hashem. I am Youdkevitch. Just like, so who speaks to him? Elohim or Youdkevitch? What is this game of names? That's called the book of names. We are in that game which is names. Think about it. Why does God have so many names, especially in Hebrew? Why? And the answer is, and this book is about the names. Because first of all, what's in a name? A name is also another word for definition. And definition comes from finite. In Hebrew, definition is hagdara. Hagdara comes from the word gader, to fence. Why? Our brain can perceive only stuff that is finite, that is defined, that starts somewhere, finishes somewhere, that is clear cut. Connecting to a God, the God, that is everything. Our brain is, you need to train your brain, and it's not easy. It's not easy to an endless God, that He is the endless, and there's nothing but Him. It's tough. So what happens? When you are in the beginning of your journey, you think that all the difference that you feel is all about God, not about you. You wake up in the morning, it's a nice day, and then things go smooth, and then you drink your cup of coffee, and everything is nice, and you sit in the garden, and everything is a nice weather. You say, oh, God loves me. Half an hour later, you have a flat tire, and you're just late to a very important meeting. You say, God, why me? Why do you hate me so much? We all have the thing of imposing it on God. Well, God is endless. He never changes his mind, never changes his promises. He's never changing his love. That's eternal. You can't, the same way that the effect cannot change the cause, the same way we, the creatures, cannot change the creator. No way, you can't. By the way, if you take from the endless a little bit, how much is left?
Endless.
Endless, exactly. And you think you can take, but what we take, if the moment we stop taking, we die, right? Mm-hmm. Like any electric device. Electric devices, they live on electrical current. We live on the light of God. The moment that stops, we're dead. Not just dead. Not even one single atom in our body will exist. It's all energy. Mm-hmm. Didn't Einstein said E equal mc squared? Okay, what's E? Energy. Everything else. And what is a C? That's a constant of what? The speed of light. What the light has to do with it? It's all light. It's all light. The moment somebody turns off the light, you can have a whole beautiful movie. You're enjoying that movie. Somebody pulls the plug out, poof, the movie is gone in very short, right? Everything is the light of God. The light of God is endless and giving and sharing. Okay? Who does the limitation? Only we do the limitation. No one else. Now, so it's a framework of how do we look at stuff. So the fact is, if God loves me or God doesn't love me, there's no doubt about it, he loves you. Each one of us. And we have to go through the story of our lives till we find out that that was like this all the time. That's the story of everyone's life. Okay? But you have to find it yourself. You have to acquire it yourself. That's your work. That's your job. Okay? Now, meanwhile, in moments that it's tough, why is it tough in the first place? Because your thinking is not so nice. Therefore, the interaction with the light is not so nice. So, the framework of how do we perceive issues is according to us. Now you can understand exactly quantum physics and the uncertainty principle. The moment you measure something, you stabilize it in a certain way, which means there's no objectivity. What? There's no objectivity? No objectivity. The way you look at stuff. You know, there's a very famous test that was done, experiment that was done many, many, many years ago. A new year is starting at school, and they mess up the reports from last year. The kids in the class, that they were the best kids in class with the higher marks, higher grades, they switched the reports with the worst kids. Now, the new teacher had no idea, okay? They did it in many cases. Now, so the new teacher is treating the kids the way it's in the report. What happens at the end of the year? The kids she was sure that they are the best ones, they were the best ones. And the kids she was sure that they are the worst, they were the worst. But it was not the truth. So, how many times do we allow other people to treat us in a certain way of their perception, and we fall into their definition of ourselves? Why does that happen to us? Because that's something we have to fix. That's something we have to overcome. If somebody treats me as a loser and I behave as a winner, okay? If you start behaving as a loser, it means that you didn't acquire it. You have to acquire it. You have to create it by yourself. And that's why another research that I always speak about, that was released like a few years ago, like really late. And it said that it was done about 1,000 and 1,000 of people around the world, and they found out that the optimist people are right, and the pessimists are also right. Which means, choose who do you want to be. But don't blame the world. Don't blame the world for, the world will treat you as you treat it. And this is what the book of names is about. You want to deliver yourself from slavery? Start to make your own definition of reality. It feels like, everything is terrible. Yeah. When the real estate market crashed in 2008, did everybody become poor? No. I know personally somebody who bought a whole apartment building, high-rise, in the Upper West Side in Manhattan for $17,000 an apartment.
Whoa.
Because nobody thought there's going to be hope. How much money does it worth right now, you think? $17,000 for an apartment in the Upper West Side? Are you kidding? Okay? Because instead of running away, he saw it as an opportunity. Because when the market is low, you can buy. When the market is high, you sell and you make money. Okay? When everybody is saying, this is terrible, there's no money. No, it's not. It's all a matter of perception. And if you want to be a master of your destiny, you have to choose through which lenses are you looking at the world. Looking at the world through the lens of Youdkevitch means everything is rosy, everything is great, everything is good. Whatever happens, it happens for the good. I can't understand it with my logic, but for sure it's going to be revealed. And it will. The moment you define reality this way, science proved already. It works. People are optimistic, they live longer, make more money, they're more happy, they're less sick, and they're more excited about life. You know what? They're right. But people are pessimistic, they live shorter, they're more sick, make less money, and they're less lucky. And also somebody did a research about, is there something that is called like lucky in business? Of course there is. But that's not something you get like in the lottery. Good luck is something you create by getting the right, proper attitude. And what if I'm trying and I don't see the results? It says in the Masechet Avot, Ethics of the Fathers, you don't see results, you didn't try enough. Very simple. Yagata umatzata ta'amin. You have to make the effort, and you will make it happen. Okay? And ta'amin means you will be connected to it one day because it's going to work. Okay, now, so it says, and God says, I have been revealed. That's the name of the parasha, revelation. Why doesn't God reveal to every human being? Why? And the answer is, you make a mistake. He's revealing himself to everyone, all the time. The question is, what do you do with that revelation? How do you interpret the revelation? He speaks to us through his creation. So the stars, the sky, the rain, the flowers. Now, two people get up in the morning. They get out to the street. One thinks that everybody hates him. The other one thinks everybody loves him. Okay? Like, what's the difference? Attitude. Can you change attitude? It's not the question if you can. The question is when. Because if you're not going to change, assume responsibility for your attitude, you have to go through the same slavery again and again and again till you have no choice anymore. You have to choose. So the Creator is saying in Hashem, Youdkevitch. Hashem means in Hebrew, whoever doesn't know, the name. When you want to speak about the Creator and you want to talk about His love, you say Hashem. Okay? Because the name of God, Youdkevitch, you don't pronounce. Some people think they know how to pronounce it. No, you don't. Okay? Only the high priest in the temple in Jerusalem once a year in Yom Kippur got into the Holy of Holies and he pronounced that name while doing his prayer. He didn't pronounce it. It says when the name was coming out of his mouth, it came through him. He didn't pronounce it. So if you think you know, but don't even try. Because what if you pronounce it wrong? What do it's you're dialing a wrong number. Who can you get? And you know what? If you pronounce it right and you don't know what to do with the line that you got, that's also a problem. So meditate on it with the faith, with the trust that by meditating on it, you can create that line of connection that we spoke about it last week. VaEra, here it is. The Creator has been revealed to the forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But he says, I've never revealed to them with that name, Youdkevitch. Why? We spoke about it last week. It was impossible. The darkness, idol worshipping, human consciousness was so heavy. There's something that is called mass psychosis. When people are hateful, it's very, very catching. It's like a plague. Okay? And people look at what happened during the Nazi period, the Soviet Union, that was hell on earth because people were into mass psychosis of believing in the evil. That's how Egypt was at that time. Turning that into it's all for the good, there's only love, and every evil is worthless, powerless, it can't control you. That consciousness is the consciousness of Youdkevitch, the Tetragrammaton, Hashem. Connecting to that is the purpose of every human being. Not someone will come and kill all the bad guys. You're still talking about bad guys? You're still talking about killing? You're still talking about the good guys and the bad? You're still into like this. We're not in the kindergarten anymore. Yeah. How do you drive away darkness? With more darkness? No, we'll kill first all the bad guys. Everything will be good. Whoever tried to do that, bad news. It was always terrible, right? Don't even start with that. Okay. So, and Rav Ashlag is saying, it's like the moment you think that the Messianic era means that bodies control bodies, what happened to you? Grow up. It's the Messianic era is not about bodies controlling other bodies. It's about people being happy because they want to be happy, and they found out the way to be happy without anyone redeeming them. Okay? If I need somebody to redeem me, now I'm enslaved. Why? I'm enslaved, what? To the Redeemer. So what's the difference? You change one addiction to another addiction. You took drugs, now you take another drug. Okay. Oh, that drug cures that. Forget it. You need a crutch. Okay? You're not free. But then there's something that is the most important. And the Creator says to Moses, I have never been revealed to them in that level that you achieve right now. And you have to remember that. We are in a different era. Right now I'm going to establish my covenant and give them that land. And I heard the pain of the Israelites. It's okay. You know what? You think that your children, they were my children before you've been here. They will be after you've been here. Right? Like you look at mother, how she's crazy about her child. That child is yours in this lifetime only. Maybe 2 lifetimes. This child is the Creator's child since the beginning till ever after. Who cares for that child more? The mother or his Creator? You're not his mother. You're just a foster mother with a foster womb. But he was there even before you, right? Just remember that. So if you want to raise your child just by yourself, good luck. No way. If you want to raise this child with his true father in heaven, okay, now you have some chance. But if you're going to do it by yourself, I feel pity for the boy or for the girl. Why? Because you'll be so full of anxieties, feeling so lonely, and can't handle their pain and whatever they go through. That's going to be a nightmare. Faith, emunah, connection to the Creator. There's no replacement for that. No replacement. No shrinks, advisors, helpers, whatever. That has to be done. Okay, and then comes, so the Creator is telling Moses, what do you think? I didn't hear them. I don't know what's going on. There's a process over here. And you have to bear in mind that who sent you over? That's all part of the game. And then he says, and that's what's important. Chapter 6, Exodus, verse 6. Lechen emor livnei Israel. Say to the children of Israel, Ani Hashem. I am Youdkevitch. Which means there's only love, only kindness that will win sooner or later. And then the next is like this. Ve'hotzeti etchem mitachat tzivot Mitzrayim, and I will take you out from under the suffering, the suffering of Egypt. I will take you out. Ve'hitzalti etchem, I will save you me'avodatam, from their slavery. Ve'ga'alti etchem, I will redeem you by a strong hand. Ve'lakachti etchem li la'am, and I will take you to be my nation. Va'iti lachem le'elohim, I will be your God. Vida'atem, you will know. The 5 verbs over here. And I will take you out, I will save you, I will redeem you, I will take you to be my nation, and you will know that Ani Hashem Elokechem, that I'm Youdkevitch, who is your Elokim. Hamutzi etchem mitachat tzivot Mitzrayim. That's one of the major parts of the Passover Haggadah. Chamesh leshonot hageulah. The 5 verbs of redemption. Why is that so important for all of us? Says the Zohar as follows. I'm reading in the Zohar of Perush HaSulam, verse 8. The world exists in the holy name of God. Ki beya Hashem tzur olamim. Okay? Tzur olamim, because God, Youdkevitch, is tzur of the worlds. What do you mean tzur? Tzur is a strong stone. Okay? Said the Zohar, not exactly. Tzur comes from the word tzayar, the painter of the worlds. Who created the worlds? Who painted them? The worlds are all his creation. Deha bitre natvan itberun al min, al maden ve'al ma'adate. That's how the 2 worlds have been created, this world and the upper world, spiritual world. Al mada bedina itberei. This world was created by judgment. How do I know? You put your finger in the socket, you get electrocuted. You drink poison, you get poisoned, right? You steal, you're going to be caught or not, and then till finally you are. Okay? Al dinakama, the world stands on judgment. Hadar dichtiv, that's what it says. Bereshit bara Elohim. How does the Torah start? In the beginning, Bereshit. In the head of the things, Elohim created. Who's Elohim? Judgment. This world, created by judgment. Matam begin תתנהגות מנשה בדינה, ולה יפקון מאוכל לבר. Why this world is in judgment? Can you imagine that there are no consequences? You could eat whatever you want and nothing happens. You don't gain weight, it doesn't affect your health, though you don't feel terrible. Will be worse than pigs, right? And just get with your imagination. You can do whatever you want. No consequences. That's called politically correct. Whatever the narrative. Whatever people feel is right, it must be right for them. Consequences you're talking about, forget it, there are no consequences. Oh, there are consequences. Hello. All of these people that say that, whatever I feel comfortable with, I will do. Why is it the group in the population that has the more tendency to be needy for what? Antidepressants, all of this stuff, because there are consequences. There are consequences. People with discipline and hope and hardworking, they say they know I need to work hard and to be honest to achieve. And I have to be giver they are the ones who get there to that place of happiness. I never met happy, selfish people. I never met happy, lazy people. I never met happy people that have no discipline. No, there are consequences. Oh, there's no striking coming from heaven. But life becomes lousy. And you have no idea whose fault it is. Of course, it's not mine. Everybody's fault it is. And then it's also your narrative to blame the whole world. That's how losers do. You blame the whole world. You know what? It makes you really happy. Did you ever met a happy blaming person? Never. You'll never meet. It's against the rules. Against the rules. No pain, no gain. And it doesn't mean that painful people go through hardship, must be happy. No. The people go through hardship and they complain all the time. That's not going to make you work. Right? Mm-hmm. Lifting weights can get you stronger. But if you lift weights in the wrong way, it can get you sick. Right? So, come and see. Next verse. It says, and Elohim spoke to Moses. Yeah, you can't trust the translations because the people translate it, they have no idea what they're talking about. The name Elohim is talking about judgment. מה כתוב למעלה? וישב משה אל השם ויאמר אדוני. And Moses came to God and he says, Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, Adonai, that's the name of judgment, as we said. Be'alef Dalet Nun Yud, Shema Malchut, this is Malchut, this is judgment, like per se. ראה תוקפו של משה, שמיד בראשית נבואתו לא נח רוחו במקום הזה שהוא מלכות. אמר אדוני, למה ראה אותו למה זה? למה זה שלחתני? He comes with a complaint to God. I try to make it better. Somebody is overweight. You need to get into the right weight. Oh, everybody's so happy. Oh, it's going to happen, no problem. It's so nice of you that you had the tendency and the intention. Oh, it's going to be very easy. Just because you have such a nice attitude. Would it be? No. No. You have to fight your addictions to our addiction. Everybody's addiction. To sugar, to gluten, to white flour, to all of this stuff. Correct? למה זה שלחתני? מאז באתי, and you can't complain. This is the price. You lived without discipline, and now there are consequences. You suffer. Why do you want to be healthy again? Because you're not healthy. Why are you not healthy? It just came out of the blue. No, it happens to be just by coincidence. I just ate whatever is fat and sugary, whatever. No, whatever, when I felt, and, see, there's a kind of I don't know, it's like bad luck. Because, it made me feel good, so why I'm feeling so bad? It's like cause and effect, hello. Now you want to go back, you want to do tshuva, you want to regret, and I made a mistake. You made a mistake. Okay, first of all, you agree that you made a mistake. You ate without any boundaries, right? With no discipline. Now the second thing, if you made a mistake, who can fix it?
You.
Only you. Okay, it's nobody's fault. Yeah, why do they make those kind of food? Nobody forced you to buy it. Nobody forced you to gulp it in. Right? You have to take responsibility. That means being free. Okay, so you have to understand that we're talking about when you see that everything is terrible, it's not God. You have to take responsibility for that place you brought yourself into. And by the way, if you brought yourself into it, who can get you out of it? You. So in one way, if you don't want to pay the price, you don't want to take responsibility, it's a terrible, terrible idea. Why is it so many people love the idea of the Messiah? We don't have to do anything. Just to believe in him. He will come and do the job for us. Do you think so?
Nope.
Doesn't work this way. No way. Somebody will come. Let's say he has the powers of Moses. You know what? 100 times Moses. He will make the whole world to behave themselves. Okay? Do you think that which means nobody will annoy you? Nobody will do something that will upset you. Everybody will give you an amazing service, starting with your spouse, your kids, your neighbors, everywhere. Partners, everybody will be nice to you. Would that make you happy? That's going to be a terrible revelation. The only person who can make you happy is yourself. So, you better get ready. You'll be sour, you'll be upset, you'll hate everyone, you'll always find blame with everyone. Why? Because you're not willing to redeem your own self. And that's what the story is about. That's what the redemption is about. Nothing about them, it's all about me. Okay, and that's why it's all about the way I choose to connect to my God. Everyone has his own God. Because the way I see my connection to God, nobody sees his connection to God the way I see it. If I don't like it, I have to change my perspective, because that's the only thing that will make it, and that's the game with the names of God. You choose which name to use. You choose which attitude to use. You choose what angle you use till you find the right winning angle, the right winning name. And then comes the punchline. As the Zohar says, we'll skip to verse 55 in the Zohar. And he's quoting those verses that we just quoted. Okay, just the ones who forgot. That was Exodus 6, verse 6. Okay? The 5 verbs that describe what really redemption is about. And what's culminating. Same thing, you take Isaiah 11. It says about, how the Messianic era is going to come and everybody will be in peace and everything will be perfect, whatever. And then it says, when would that happen? Ki mal haaretz de'at Hashem. When the earth is full with the knowledge of Youdkevitch, like water covered the sea. See this water covered the sea? No, everything is equal. Everybody's equal. The deep one, the mountains, everything is equal. Jeremiah says the same thing, when nobody has to teach each other because everybody knows Youdkevitch. So, the Zohar says, verse 55, and I will take you out, all of these verbs, I will save you, I will take you to be my nation, I will be your God, and you will know, that's a verb, to know. Ki ani Hashem Elokechem, because I am Youdkevitch, your God. Okay? Says the Zohar, this is a mitzvah. This is a precept. This is a connection. Hi harishona lechol hamitzvot. It's the first mitzvah Moses is giving to the Israelites. What's a mitzvah? So again, in English, a lot of people say mitzvah is a good deed. No, not every good deed is a mitzvah. Just doing a good deed, it doesn't mean you did a mitzvah. Mitzvah comes from the word sevet. That's simple. Sevet means to team. When you do a good deed in order to bring light to the world, to make the world better, and you do it with the consciousness of improving mankind, improving the whole project of the creation, that's a mitzvah. Because you do it in both dimensions, the physical and the spiritual. That's a mitzvah. When you do it because it's nice to do good deeds, that's a good deed, but it's not a mitzvah. Okay? A mitzvah, it has an effect on the quantum level. You're making a mitzvah, you affect somebody who knows in the other side of the world. Because you change the balance of the creation by adding more light. And a butterfly flipping its wings in Tokyo can create a series of a ripple effect. It finally can create a tornado in Chicago. I didn't write it. It's The Chaos Theory by James Glick. That's physics. That's math. That's how it works. But you want to create a ripple effect, you have to have your brain wired with your heart, and all of that wired to the line of light that you're drawing it in as you're making your action. Because if you're just doing a good deed, you know what happens? You're destined to be disappointed. Sooner or later you will realize that most people, most of the time, do not say thank you. And you know what? They will never say thank you the way you want them to say that thank you. So, after a while, why should I be so good? I'm doing so many good deeds, and look, that's what I get. Forget it. It's better to be evil. People don't think so? Of course they think so. That's consequences. When you think you do it only on the plane level, you're waiting for an answer in the plane level. No. But when you do it on both planes, you're not expecting somebody to say thank you, because you got your thank you already by your connection to the creation and to the Creator. And that should be enough. And what if the person didn't say thank you? Don't know. He's maybe confused, maybe that. Maybe he doesn't know how to say thank you. Maybe you should teach him how to say thank you. But don't expect, because the moment you expect somebody to say thank you, you turn him to be your master. Because now your emotional stage is dependent on his reaction. Is that allowed? No, that's idol worshipping. Right? He becomes your jailer. Because if he's nice to you, you're happy. He's not nice, you're not happy, so you're in jail. Right? That's wrong. It doesn't work. Did you try that? Did you get already the punishment for misbehaving? Of course. Okay. So, the first mitzvah, the first one, which is the basic, and it is the foundation of all other mitzvot. Okay? התחלה ראשונה של כל המצוות, the foundation of all the mitzvot, הוא לדעת את הקדוש ברוך הוא בבחינת כלל. To know. What is to know in Hebrew? And Adam knew Eve. And she got pregnant. What do you mean? To know means to connect. It's to be connected. Not just, oh, I heard about it. That's not to know. Knowing is believing. Right?
Yes.
You know, you already see it. You don't know, you don't see it. Okay? To know that the creator in the aspect of generality, klal, all-inclusive. What does it mean, all-inclusive? And he answers, to know there's one ruler above, to everything. He is the master of the universe, Adonai Olam. Bara kol olamot, he created all the universes. Shamayim v'aretz v'kol tzva'am, the heaven and the earth and all their hosts. And this is general, which means, where is he? He's everywhere. He's everything. There's nothing but him. Okay? But that's only the beginning. Because so many people speak about the greatness of God, but then they come home and they forgot the key. And they get upset. Just a second. Didn't we say that God is everywhere? God is everything? Even with the key and the door and that and this God is even in this situation? Don't you know that? Didn't they say that God is in the details?
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the second aspect. The first aspect, God is great, He's everything, endless, He's everywhere. And the detail is to make it manifest in every little thing that you do. Looking for your key, baking a cake, driving to work and not finding a parking spot when you expect it to be, all that little things in your life. That's the place to bring in that endless God into this private God that is in every atom, everywhere, everything. You need to perceive reality in both ends, says the Zohar. And that is, Ki ani Hashem Elokechem. In the big picture and in the small details, He's in both. Okay? Now, it's like, so every person must leishtalem bishneim. What is leishtalem? To perfect himself, to come to completion in both ends of that consciousness. You know, there are people that are very good at talking, most of us, about the greatness of God, till there is a thistle or thorn coming under the nail. And you start cursing in all kinds of terrible ways. Oh, so God was away here in my nail, under my nail. It's not God. Oh, it is also part of it. Why? I don't know. I don't always know. But the fact that you got upset is to show you that you forgot to bring God into the detail. And that's very important, because where is spirituality really happening? In those little details. That's where spirituality really happens. In those little details. In the little things that happen every day. That's what makes your day. Those little things. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with divinity. No, divinity is not a place that happens in a temple. That's something that happens in every little detail. That's what we said. It's above and below. That's what mitzvah is about. So every little mitzvah, every little action counts. Because when you give it the right consciousness and the right attention, you connect to the line of light that is coming from the endless all the way down to this moment and this time and this space that you are right now. And this, we said, is called kav, the line. When you connected to the line, you'll always be successful. How do you call that thing of keeping the line alive and strong? Tikva. The word tikva comes from the word kav. That's making a kav. This is the word in Hebrew for hope. Mm-hmm. So we're not talking about hope. Bad translation, but there's no word for it in English. Is keeping the line on. When you keep the line on, no matter what happens, whatever happens, pushes you forward, because you're online. The moment you're offline, whatever happens is going to somehow push you, derail you, get you into places, then something will take you back. But you need to have, it's interchangeable of the words tikva, emunah. Emunah is not faith. Emunah is again connection. Connection between heaven and earth. And there's one word for that, vidatem, and you would know. You would know. There's hope and there's hope. In English, hope is like, I'm not so sure, but I hope it's going to happen. Right. Tikva is I'm working it to happen because I'm connected to it. My eyes can't see it, My brain does not understand it, but deep inside I know it's there because I'm online with that. So my consciousness is going to make it happen. How exactly? The line dresses up by all kinds of events. What's important is to stay online. The events will just lead it to the right place. So the whole story that is starting from now on is how to deliver that consciousness, that it's all for the good, that the light is always with you wherever you are. Even if I go in the valley of death, God is with me. Which God? Youdkevitch is with me. I see it, I don't. That keeps your sanity. That keeps your logic right, in the right place. Keeps you helping the Creator picture the world, paint it till perfection. And each one of us has to perfect that vision in the world, spiritual world, in the physical, in the detail world. That is the purpose of everything. כשיצאו ישראל ממצרים, when the Israelites left Egypt, they didn't know that. Being a slave means you don't know that. Everything upsets you. Everything makes you anxious, right? Little things can get you into anxiety attack that can kill you. כיוון שבא אל משה, as Moses came to teach them, לימד אותה מצווה ראשונה הזאת. That was the first mitzvah the Israelites learned. Without this mitzvah, you can never be free. You always find someone to enslave you, something to enslave you. ולולא המצווה הזאת, לא היו נאמנים להשם. Without that mitzvah, the Israelites will not be נאמנים. Now you understand, what's the shorish of the word נאמן? Amen. Connected to Creator, not faithful. Faithful is already a result of a connection. When you're connected, you're faithful. When you're not connected, you cannot be faithful because you're just flying somewhere. You don't know what's faithful being. You think you are, but you're not. You don't have the power. גם אחר כל אלו הניסים והגבורות שעשה להם הקדוש במצרים, even after all the miracles they went through in Egypt, only when they knew that mitzvah, then the miracles happened that way to redeem. You know, a person can go through a lot of miracles, it doesn't help them. Why? They don't have the knowledge and the consciousness of connection. And then they say, oh, that's by mistake. You know, how many times you're trying to do something and then a miracle, it happened. Now the next stage, no, miracles don't happen so often. It's not going to happen all over again. Doesn't that happen? That's a lack of a kav. So the whole process of redemption was leishtalem. Ishtalmut means?
Shalem.
Ishtalmut is, in the Hebrew today, when you go to learn something, it's ishtalmut. Yeah. But you have to exercise and to practice till you are complete with that. And this is the process. Now we have also in this parasha the 7 plagues. Now the 7 plagues can come. They destroy the unfaithful and they build the faithful. What does it mean? The ones who are connected, every plague is another push forwards going up. People who are not connected, the same event just buries them down into a worse place. So you see 2 kinds of people in the same event have exactly opposite reactions. Positive, negative. Which of the people do you want to be? That's our job, that's our work, and this is the consciousness we want to give birth to. And that's why the 10 plagues are about deliverance, which is birth. And that's why, how does a birth, the process of birth is starting, says the Zohar, with blood. What's the first plague? Blood. The birth has started already. The process has started. And I don't want to go into it, but every one of the plague is another part of the process of giving birth. Giving birth to what? That consciousness of freedom that all of humanity is learning to apply since the Exodus till today. When you complete that, you push humanity one step forward with a ripple effect, because it affects everyone. Thank you, and have a great week. Good luck with the job.